It's breaking news here on Inside Iowa Politics. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds will not run for re-election in 2026. Hi, I'm Dave Price. Kim Reynolds is the only woman to serve as Iowa's governor in its history. She started in politics as the Clark County Treasurer, became lieutenant governor in 2011, and then in 2017, when previous Governor Terry Branstad resigned to become U.S. ambassador to China, Reynolds took over. But Friday morning on social media, she announced that she will not run again.
Today I want to share a personal decision with you, one that was not made lightly, but comes with a full heart and a deep sense of gratitude. After a lot of thought, prayer, and conversations with my family, I have decided that I will not seek re-election in 2026. This wasn't an easy decision because I love this state and I love serving you.
So, was this a surprise? Well, can you answer this both yes and no? Let's first start with the no. The governor frequently mentions family, and after her husband Kevin got diagnosed with lung cancer 2 years ago, that raised some speculation that she may want to get out of politics so she could focus on his health and hopefully his recovery. She also has elderly parents with health challenges, and she mentioned family in Friday's announcement.
This public service has been an incredible journey, one that I wouldn't trade for anything. But as Iowans know, family is everything. And through the years, my parents and my husband Kevin, our daughters and our grandchildren have stood by my side, supporting me through every challenge and every victory. And now it's time for me to be there for them, to help them through the next stage of life, to watch every track meet and basketball game, to see them grow before they're all grown.
Some people have also brought up the fact that Kim Reynolds turns 66 this August, but of course Chuck Grassley is 91 and still serving in the United States Senate. All right, so now let's talk about the people who were surprised with this announcement, and because of that, let's turn back the clock to November of 2023.
I am so proud to stand here tonight and give him my full support and endorsement for President of the United States of America.
Reynolds had bucked tradition and endorsed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis before the January 2024 Iowa Republican caucuses. As we know, usually governors remain neutral before the caucus. But at the time, the governor told me that she felt Donald Trump was too focused on himself, too focused on his grievances from the past, and that he could not get reelected. Trump was furious and said that Reynolds' career was over. As it turned out, Trump won the caucuses, DeSantis finished second, DeSantis later dropped out, and then Reynolds worked to repair the relationship. That is something that made people think that she would want to run again. She spent election night 2024, not in Iowa, but at Mar-a-Lago at Trump's place in Florida when he officially got reelected. She has also gone to Washington, D.C. numerous times in support of Trump and some of his cabinet choices. So that made people think she was indeed working to get reelected and to make sure that Trump would not support anybody else in the future. Turns out that's not the case, and she is not running again. So the question is, what about the future?
And speaking of the future, I have no doubt that Iowa and our Republican Party will remain in great hands. Together, we have built a foundation of strong conservative leadership that will continue to serve this state well.
So with Reynolds not running again, that completely changes this primary race for governor in 2026. Of course, Brad Sherman's already in. He's a longtime pastor from Williamsburg, former one-term state representative. He already announced that he was running before Kim Reynolds said she would not, and at a time, frankly, when people assumed that Reynolds would run again. So who else? Watch Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird. She might be among the most likely to run. Also look for Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Mike Naig to get some attention. Iowa Congresswoman Ashley Hinson potentially, if she does not want to wait and possibly replace Chuck Grassley in the Senate one day. And also State Senator Mike Busolo from Ankeny. Some of the early names to watch. One name that's not come up a lot so far, interestingly, is the current Lieutenant Governor Chris Cournoyer. Not a lot of speculation that this is something that she might go after. Of course, we'll have to wait to see what all of these folks say in the days ahead. As for Democrats, you primarily only hear one name, and that is Rob Sand. He's the only Democrat in elected office statewide. He is the state auditor, and he came out of the gate announcing that he had $8 million raised. Hasn't announced that he's running for governor yet, and most of that money came from his wealthy family. That was enough to essentially scare off some other Democrats who had been thinking about running, and some of them are thinking about potentially running for other races. So the way this shakes out, the more competitive primary in 2026 in the race for governor may be on the Republican side, possibly not on the Democratic side. So a lot has changed with this announcement from Governor Kim Reynolds saying that she will not seek another term in office. That's breaking news on Inside Iowa Politics. We'll see you next week.